Please like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel and to see more content like this. I'm sure that the most of you that have clicked on this video remember Swifty in his heyday on YouTube, which was roughly 2010 to 2012. While he did get his start much earlier than that with his warrior tricks and whatnot, he exploded after partnering with Razer and Machinima. And don't forget, WoW was still the king. Fast forward nearly 8 years and his YouTube is practically dead. And he doesn't make a video that isn't any more than basically pasting a segment from his live stream. His live stream isn't consistent either. He also has no post on his IRL channel. So I'll ask the question, whatever happened to Swifty? I'm going to start this explanation with a few nostalgic events that made Swifty great at what he did, and his ultimate downfall. Let's get started. So, of course, Swifty became successful with a series of warrior tips and tricks videos, which were basically how he somewhat exploited the game and showed people how to do it. He used the phrase, clever use of game mechanics, quite often. It's a touchy subject to say that he ever actually exploited or cheated, so I'll leave that for you to decide. He would continue to make videos like this for the next few years. In late 2009 and early 2010, Swifty made a series of reviews on Razer products. He started with the Naga, and then a short time later made a review on the Lycosa keyboard. Along with this following, he had two very clever ways that he promoted these products. First, he pushed the fact that if you wanted to be good, you cannot be a clicker, which is just that. Someone who clicks all their skills as opposed to having them bound to actual keys. The Naga was the perfect solution. He demonstrated how to use it and how it would benefit you. The second way he was able to promote the products and to ultimately seal the deal in both viewers and Razer themselves was the fact that he is missing half of his pinky finger. More importantly, it's his left finger. This meant he struggled hitting shift, or any keys for that matter, with that finger. This solidified the fact that not only did the product work, but it was very practical for those in need of an upper hand, or finger. It's obvious Swifty landed his sponsorship with Razer shortly afterwards, considering he had major giveaways and started sporting the Razer logo at the beginning of all of his videos. He is currently still sponsored.
Guys, I have some really bad news. I was banned from World of Warcraft last night. An actual ban, not a suspension, a ban, a permanent ban.
This to date is still the most viewed video of Swifty's with over 4 million views. It also broke 1 million views in just its first week. This isn't anything significant in today's time, but in 2011, when the top YouTubers were barely breaking 1 million views per video, it was very significant. The banning came from him doing a live stream and having the server crash. Swifty took the fall for the server crashing and was perma-banned that night. He had a following and had nearly 5,000 people logged into the Darkspear server that night to play with him. Him getting banned sparked a drive from the WoW community to have it reversed. People like WoW Hobbs, Bajira, and even the legend Athene posted a reply to get him unbanned. Athene's intentions were for more followers for himself, but I'll leave that for a different video. Long story short, Swifty ended up getting unbanned, and by that point, Swifty was on top. He gained even more followers from the channels that posted videos about his unbanning, and had basically partnered with Athene, which broadened his fan base that much more. Swifty was king, and WoW was still on top. He couldn't have asked for more. This is what I think was the downfall of Swifty. While this is debatable, I'll explain why. So his gaming house was just that, a gaming house where streamers or WoW players like Mercator and others would go to game with Swifty. Viewers also had a chance to win a week or whatever to game with him in his home. This is when I think the content on YouTube itself went downhill. That's when streaming became more of a priority than making epic YouTube videos. He chose streaming over what made him who he was. I'm not going to dabble into the relationships he has had and how women have burned and bled him dry, or how friends of his like Rico, Paco, and Rick are no longer mentioned. Maybe I'll make a part 2 about this. I don't know. Now don't get me wrong, I completely understand why Swifty changed from focusing on YouTube to live streaming. Streaming, sub money, and everything in between yields higher revenue than YouTube alone, if you aren't getting millions of views a month, that is. So I get it. I also get that it's a much better way to engage with your audience. If you're a gamer and you're not on Twitch, you're doing it all wrong. So I totally get it. He basically wanted to broadcast his life, which I can get to an extent, but it added something that no other Twitch or YouTuber at the time was offering. This, of course, had negative effects such as having the cops called to either prank you or haters wanting to watch you suffer. He knew all of the negative effects of not only going into the live streaming world, but live streaming nearly everything in his life other than his bedroom and bathroom. So it definitely leaves the door open for negative effects. So this leads to the main question. What has happened to him? Why are his views so low? Why isn't he streaming on a consistent basis or streaming his entire home anymore? Is it that he is living a normal life now? Has he finally given up the gamer life and grown up? And my answer to that is most likely. Remember, folks, at the peak of Swifty's success, WoW was king. There was nothing that was touching it at the moment. In the grand scheme of things, other than Call of Duty, there was nothing on YouTube or Twitch that was even coming close to touching WoW. Now, 6+ years later, WoW is basically dead. The announcement at BlizzCon 2018 that D3 is going to mobile has opened up the floodgates for hate and disappointment in Blizzard. Activision has taken over nearly the entire company. Countless original people from the company are now gone. There has always been a saying, WoW will never die. Well, sad to say, it's pretty damn close now, and a far cry of itself from years ago. With that being said, the following of the game is no longer where it used to be. Swifty never adapted. He never adapted to the changing of people's interests. The fact that he didn't change his focus from WoW to anything else has hurt him immensely. I understand why he hasn't, because that is what he's known for, but his following would have adapted with him if they were loyal enough. Also, you have to understand that people around my age, which is 32, grew up playing it, and it was at its peak while we were playing it. But now we've grown up. I don't know of a single person that I used to play with that actually plays it anymore. Honestly, now that we have grown up, we have less time to spend playing games in general, which means less time to watch people play. Swifty has also grown older and is nearly 50. I'm sure he has gotten to the point now where he wants to just live life comfortably and wants to enjoy life in general and away from the camera. Mind you, he is still active, but it isn't even remotely close to his former self or personality. So, to Swifty himself, we miss you, man. We miss the old you. The Swifty from the old days were incredibly entertaining, and watching those older videos of you brings back a hell of a lot of memories. Hats off to you for all the entertainment. Alright guys, if you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to click the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. And until then, take care of yourself.